You know, to get ahead in life, you've got to put order first. You know, there is that notion that to get ahead in life, you have to just focus on yourself, put yourself first. But the thing about us human is we are services. We are, the world, the people around us, they are our customers. Even, you know, your immediate family, your wife, your husband, you have to continuously sell yourself to the people around you. And in order for you to go up, your services has to be bought. Your services has to be in demand by the people around you. So in order for you to go up, put others first. A true leader serves people and their interests. And in so doing, they might not always be popular, not always impress at first, but because a true leader is motivated by a loving concern of the people around them rather than a desire for personal glory. A true leader is willing to pay the price. And this is the word of author Eugene Habecker. And I'm sure you could have a look at examples of some leaders. Some leaders passed away in Corinth. An example of a true leader who exhibits the character of servanthood is Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Martin Luther King Jr., Thomas Sankara, Farrakhan. These are all the people who put the interests of other people's first. Their whole concern is about the people. How can they make the people stronger? How can they make the people better? How can they make the people more educated to understand their right? Now, having a look at the names I've mentioned, take a look around your country, your local government, your state, even in your company or yourself, and tell me how many people can you honestly say display the quality of servanthood, the quality I've mentioned that you can find in Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Martin Luther King, Thomas Sankara. Just tell me, how many people do you see around your neighborhood, around your environment, in your country, including yourself? You can honestly say, yeah, these people display this character. Many of the leaders we have today, and even the people, they are just there for themselves. They are not there to serve the people. They are there to embezzle the natural resources of the country in conjunction with their foreign ally, to rob the country blind, to put their people in darkness while they enrich the other countries for the purpose of their own family and their self. Most of their kids, their families are in all the private schools in around the world, in America and the US. You go to some of the most expensive schools, private schools in this Western world, you will find African there, African children there. And these are all the people who would put you in darkness and make sure nothing comes from you. So just so they and their family could be okay. They travel around the world and see the whole civilization, the whole improvement, but they never want that for their people. Why? Because they are okay themselves. They live in mansion, in every, in sit on thrones just to impoverish the people. Why? Because the people have accepted this. There's a saying that a master and a slave are always working in conjunction. If you refuse to be enslaved, you will not be slaved. So I'm not talking about the people who you see around you. Recently, I was reading something where some people in power, elected office, would employ a personnel to just open the car door. And this is so bad that the person who's just there, their sole job is just to open the door. They have another person who opens their own door, and this carries along like that. Can you imagine it in a country where people are living on less than $1 a day? In a country where someone just wakes up and appoints a minister of happiness, just to embezzle the country's resources. In a country where people are living less than $1 a day, less than $1 a day. Can you imagine that? An appointed leader would just wake up one day and decide to erect a statue of themselves or of their friends and their colleagues who they're seeking favor from. Yeah, you go on. Tell me just one person you can see who love the people who they are elected to serve more than the position and the title they have attained. Just one. Just point me one. Just one person. The problem with us is that we view servanthood as a relatively low skill position performed by those at the bottom of the chain. You know me. I'm not belittling any position, but most like your security officer who mind your gate, your housemaid, your gardener, your nanny. After all, these people refer to you as a sir or madam. I mean, they even go as far as addressing your children as little madam or little sir or little oga. In a continent where we are trained to respect our elders, regardless of their standing in society, regardless of their social standing, we are taught to respect elders. The only respect we know, the only thing we have respect for is money. Regardless of how someone has acquired his wealth, we respect the wealth. We all follow big names. We all follow big names. You could hear this in everything, in songs, in music, in life. We all attracted to big name success. Nothing else. In a country where professors and provosts are earning less than as some local government councillor. And I'm not saying that professors are better themselves, because these days education is mostly just paraded for just the title sake and not substance. Education these days is more of a thing of a form rather than the substance. So they have their own issues as well. We as a people, we have the total wrong impression of what a leader is, the total wrong impression of what a servanthood should be, who a leader should be, what a leader should be doing. Leading should never be about the position or the skills. It should be about the attitude to put other people first before your own agenda. And I'm not only talking about elected officials. No, this goes across the board for everyone, every single person. I'm sure you've met people in service position who have poor attitude towards servanthood. They feel they're in a position to be served instead of being served. They feel they get into this position to be served. Instead of serving other people, they feel they attain a position to be served. You can see all of them in your local government organization and wherever. I recently went to the Elecii registry. The registrar turned up 3 hours later, and there were people there lining up waiting for this registrar to register them. And when she came, she just walked into our office with the fan, legs on the table, and then she was calling people in line. And therefore, you have to even pay extra to get fast track. You have to pay extra, and you told plainly, if you don't pay extra, you wouldn't get your marriage certificate. And even if you get your marriage certificate, it would not be registered. Can you imagine that? And tomorrow, these people will say, the government are corrupt. But who are the government? And most people who refuse to pay this extra fee, they came back day after day. Day after day. Like they just made their life hell. Another incident was like, I went to the passport office to get my national NIN, national identity number, whatever. This should be offered free, but we were told to pay. And those who could not afford to pay, they turned up to that office for every single day for more than 2 weeks, waiting to be called. They were never given the opportunity to get what the government said this thing was free. It was even mandatory that if you don't do it, your phone number was going to be blocked. But everyone there was a lady who was trying to issue me my name. She demanded I gave her a bribe of just, how much was it? Just 2,000 naira. When I declined, she refused to. See, she did the registration and everything, but she refused to give me my number until I said I knew someone. That is the mentality. You have to know someone to progress in a country, even when it's within your right. When I demanded, okay, I'm going to scream and shout and call people, then she gave me my number. First, she said it wasn't ready. I should come back in 2 days' time. Then I said, no, this thing has been 2 days already. That is the country. We blame everyone, but we refuse to look at ourselves. And I'm sure you have come across government workers yourself who believe they are in position to be served and not to serve the people. I mean, of course, you know the receptionist who will spend time chatting with their friends on the phone rather than assisting you. The sales assistant in a high-end fashion shop, when you walk in there, they look at you like, what are you doing here? Okay, what, can you afford it? Why they themselves cannot even afford anything from that shop? Or the waiters who refuses to take your order or just comes over and dumps the food, and then at the end of your meal, they want to tip. Just as we criticize leaders for being position and title crazy, that is the same way we act in our own little position. For every position, you see someone, they become God, they sit on the throne, they put their legs for others to wash their feet, they become pharaohs. And if you put these people in a leading position, in a bigger position tomorrow, they would do the same thing, absolutely worse. The reason we are where we are today is not because we don't have leaders and people. It's simple. We are where we are today because we don't have leaders who would put other people's first. Leaders who would put other people's interests. Even people, not leaders, even people who would put other people's interests. People who have the desire to serve others, and not themselves. The desire to help. The people who take a job and say, I will complete this job just to help assist people. Not for the position, not for the title, not to feel like Pharaoh, just to do what it says on the thing. This is my position. I will do it to my 100% ability. We don't have those people, and that's why we are suffering. We lack the calibers of people like Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King. All of these people put people's agenda ahead of their own. They put other people's agenda ahead of their own. There is no single leader in Africa today that intentionally puts other people's agenda ahead of their own. Not even the people. I was watching a recent something I saw on social media recently, where in Ghana, where a politician, it was election period again, and he took bags of rice to bribe, the locals, and they threw the rice back at him like, get out with your rice, give us job. That should be the mentality. We should start with ourselves and saying, no, you cannot bribe me, because for what you bribe me today, my generation will suffer. My kids coming will suffer. Everyone around me will suffer because you have bought me. I have sold my soul to you. We should stop selling our soul for rice. Can you imagine that? How cheap can we sell ourselves? There was the thing about people being sold into slavery. Then imagine how horrible it is to sell yourself. Not being sold by someone else, just to sell your own self. Imagine that. But that's what we're currently doing today. When we take bribe from someone and think, okay, we'll go, we'll do something else. We have lost integrity. Therefore, we can't come out and complain or argue about anything. We have lost integrity. The minute we start taking bribe from people to do something that we should have done, the minute we start taking food to vote for someone, even if we refuse to vote for that person, we are selling ourselves and our generation. All the leaders are insecure. We know this. They're insecure because they're bad leaders. They cannot comfortably seek good ideas outside of their immediate cronies because they know bringing in the best idea from outside source would embarrass them. It would reveal their incompetence. So therefore, they keep themselves within themselves, even if they have the worst horrible idea or probably no idea, no plan for the people. They're just in that position to embezzle And then the people are powerless because the people are not there to rebel. The people are just waiting to be given the opportunity to do exactly the same thing. Everyone's trying to wait for their turn. I was reading a post the other day. I think some guy in America, I think his name is Douglas Lumsden or something like that. He, he had this quote where he says, "You shouldn't be in a hurry." That I think at the age of 55, that's when he started to read, or at the age of 70, he published his first book and all very inspiring stuff. But the thing for me was like, that's all well and good. In Africa, the life expectancy is at age 54. 54. So why this guy is starting his life at 55? The life expectancy in Africa is 54. So before you actually get to that state, you are dead. And why is that? Because we have sold ourselves. We have taken it upon ourselves to suffer and struggle rather than fight for freedom. And Africans would rather cross the Sahara Desert, die under the sun, drink their own piss, buy someone else's urine just to get to Europe, rather than stay, fight, and develop their community. That is the state we have got into. We run and flee from everything else. Everyone is position conscious. They focus on position or rank rather than being in a position of helping other people reach their potential, reach their full potential. We have become position for focus, and that's why you see most Africans, they focus on getting a degree after degree, PhD after PhD. There is nothing wrong with that, but sometimes it's about the services, it's about connecting to the people, it's about helping people. We have become so position conscious and title conscious, we don't see any other thing. And today, I must say, the biggest killer, the biggest challenge of servanthood is the lack of love. There is lack of love among the people. That is the biggest killer of all. Lack of love among the people. And this crosses all genre. Whether the people, whether in government, whether religious leaders, they are all motivated by greed, by wealth, by prosperity. That is why a pastor will get relief from his position for lack of profit. People are commanded to sow. Even some are pushed, some are threatened to come and sow. Some are even advised to go and borrow seed and sow. They are told, empty your pocket, empty your bank account, and empty your pocket. Whatever you have, bring it to the altar to test God and see what God can do for you. How dumb are you? God does not need your money. God does not need your money. God gave you everything. How can God need your money? It's even in the Bible. And listen to me, I am a baby when it comes to Christianity. I am a baby. But even I know that God does not need your money. And even I can quote a chapter for you where it says you should only give cheerfully. In fact, if you go to 2 Corinthians 9, 7, verse 7 to 11, it says, every man according to his purpose in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loves a cheerful giver. So how can someone force you to give? Is that are you giving cheerfully? And it goes on to say, 2 Corinthians 8 to 12, it said, when you give, you should give responsibly to those who cannot help themselves. You should source out those who cannot help themselves. For if there be a willing mind, give only what you can afford to give. Give only what you can afford to give, but you should source out and give responsibly. Give to those who you know would go on and help others. Don't give out of fear. For God is not there to punish you. God says, give responsibly. Seek those who actually need your help and help them. For by helping them, you are helping God. By touching them, you are touching God. By reaching them, you are reaching God. That is the way we should start thinking as human. So I'm saying to you again, I am sorry, for God does not need your money. By lifting someone else up, you are doing the work of God. You are lifting up another human. For God says, love your neighbor as yourself, or love yourself as your neighbor, something like that. But you should try and help, not be forced into helping. You should seek out someone who needs your help and try and lift them to another level. That is the work of God. For they say, the greatest leaders serve out of love. Love for human, love for God, not for motivational, or not by motivating, or not motivated by manipulation or self-promotion. They are fueled by love for fellow human, fueled by love for fellow human. When they see someone suffering and they driving the best car, living in the best house, they go out and try and help. They build school and let those who the smartest people in the world who cannot attend that school, they give them free scholarship. They help. They provide mentoring. For no, they request nothing back, because they know whatever they have is not by their power. That is what leaders do. And as I keep repeating this, I'm not saying this as a Christian. I'm saying this as a fellow human to you. When it comes to Christianity, I'm a baby in Christianity. When you have no deep concern for others, then your only concern is yourself. That is why it is very important for leaders to be willing to serve the people and not the other way around. Like I keep saying, when it comes to Christianity, I am a baby. But I'm sure there's somewhere in the Bible where I think Jesus washed the feet of someone, or someone washed Jesus' feet. The desire should be to serve the people. But everyone today in leadership position wants to sit on a golden throne. They have become the modern day pharaohs. And we all know what happened to the pharaohs. And I'm saying this not to leaders alone, to we human, because we are where we are because we have chosen to be where we are. It's a choice thing. They say it is a choice thing. You make the decision to be enslaved or not. It is your decision. And before you go on blaming the leaders today, I'll ask you a question. Where is your heart, your own heart? Where is it when it comes to serving others? Like in the little position, you are 10. Now you feel like God. If you cannot help other people in your little position, if you cannot help other people with your little salary, is it when you start making millions? For if you earn £100 a month and you can't give someone £10, you will not be able to give someone 100,000 when you earn 1 million, because that would be a big amount. So that's the thing. If you cannot help anyone in your little position today, stop saying I would help when I earn enough. No, you would not be able to do that. You will not be able to do that. The thing is, we all criticize the leaders and everything. We all desire to become leaders for simple thing, for the perks and the benefit. We are never motivated by the desire to help others, to lift others, to make others become aware, to encourage people to understand themselves, to come face to face with themselves, to read, to study, to grow, to think. We never encourage people to think. Why? Because we want to continuously enslave them. And that's the only reason we are where we are today. I think so many people have said in the past, but I think the last person I heard say is Curtis Jackson, famously known as 50 Cent. He says, if you want to hide anything from a black person today, just hide it in a book, because a black person would never read a book to help improve them. Hardly. Very few. In every situation we are, we all role play for achievement. We all role play for achievement, for advancement, instead of risking for other people's benefit, just like the great noble people I've mentioned in the past did. Martin Luther King, Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Thomas Sankara. We all focus on our own personal achievement, rather risking for the benefit of others. It is said, it is said that those who would be the greatest among us must be the least and the servant of all. For those who will be the greatest must be the servant of all. And that's why you can see the greatest today, people like Nobel Prize winners, like Martin Luther King, like Desmond Tutu, they became the servant of the people. And the reason we have no other Nobel Prize winner in Africa, apart from this few, is like we don't have the servant of the people. We have rulers, they rule, they command, dictators. We have all these, and dictators cannot win Nobel Prize, for they are there for themselves and not for the people. If this is you, if this is your mindset, you should change. And it doesn't take much to change. Start small. Help those who cannot help themselves around you. I am sure there is a lot of them. And I'm not talking about just giving someone money to eat. No, teach people how to feed themselves, how to read, how to have a self-worth, how to develop themselves. You see someone with a great idea, try and assist them. Let them become something. And so they can go on and help another person become something. By helping one, trying to help a multitude. Not by feeding people and help those. Not because you're going to get anything back from these people. No. Or you're going to get anything in return. No. But just because it is just to help. But you must seek those who would turn and help others. Those who would turn small thing into something, to help their family, to help others. Not those who go around just begging, and trying to focus on just being fed rather than working, learning how to feed themselves. No, you must seek. There are responsible people out there who are doing things very small. You must put your mind there and help those people. Give responsibly. I repeat this again. Give responsibly. For if you are giving and your giving is not making any difference to the life of multitudes and just to one person's pocket, you should rethink again. It is said, if you want to lead on the highest level, be willing to serve on the lowest level. Start from the lowest level. Be willing to serve on the lowest level. And finally, I'm going to leave you with the words of Albert Schweitzer. Albert Schweitzer stated, I don't know what your destiny will be. But one thing I know, the ones among you who will be ready, who will be really happy and great, are those who have sought and found how to serve others.